Well, this is where we left off at the last video. We got the crosshead guide and the base and the bearing standards all hooked together. And in this video we're going to be progressing a little more on the construction. This is my drawing of the cylinder. I got the plan for the cylinder from the book Elmer's Engines, which I downloaded PDF form. I'm not sure where I got it from, but I'm sure a internet search will be able to find it. The cylinder is fairly complex. It has a lot of features. It starts with a piece of 1-inch square stock. I used aluminum, as I'm using for most of this engine. We'll get into some of the difficulties I had in a little bit here, but for now, if you want to pause the video and look at the cylinder drawing, you can figure out just how complex it can possibly get. This is the cylinder. There are a lot of features on it. Holes in each end for the heads, the steam passages, air passages, whatever you want to call them. And this was a very difficult part for me to make. I started it 3 times before I finally got this one done. It starts out as a piece of 1-inch square stock. Got it from, chucked it into the 4-jaw chuck, turned the flanges on the ends, and then drilled the holes. The first ones I cut the sides first. The first 2 that I made. Well, the first one I got so enthusiastic about milling that flat that I broke through the bore, and I had to scrap that part. The second one I did again, and while drilling the passage holes from the end flange to the valve port, I broke a drill bit, and of course it stuck in the material, so I had to scrap that part. And realized when I was doing that, about the time I broke the drill bit, was I had cut these flats first, and I had no decent way of holding the piece to drill it. So when I did this one, I left the square, the 1-inch square, and drilled all of the holes. The bore was made on the lathe when I turned the flanges. So I drilled all the holes, cut all of the slots for the steam ports, and then when that was all done, I milled the edges. The original plan in Elmer's Engines said that this could be rounded, but I really have no way of rounding something like this in my milling machine, and the thought of doing it with a file just didn't appeal to me, so I thought I'd just leave it with the 45s. Then to go with the cylinder, there's the cylinder heads, which were very simple to make. They've got a little 1/16 of an inch boss here that fits inside the bore, and then the rear one has the center hole drilled for the piston rod. So we'll put the outboard head on. That's the front, or I suppose you could call it the front of the engine. We'll put the number 256 head bolts The cylinder heads weren't that difficult to make. It was just starting with a piece of 1-inch round, cutting the features in it, and then parting it off. Grab my tweezer here so I can hold on to the screw a little better. I don't do real well with handling the little screws. When I first designed this engine, I was going to use number 172s, and after looking at 172 screws, I decided that that was maybe a little smaller than I wanted to handle with my limited dexterity, so I went and used the 2s. They're small enough. The rear head, or the inboard head, is trapped between the crosshead guide and the cylinder. So that has to have the holes that for bolts to go through all the way from the crosshead guide into the cylinder. Snug this down. Going to wait until the final assembly to put the rear head on. The next parts that were made was the steam chest valve assembly. That consists of 3 parts. The valve plate, which was spec'd out as brass, but I had 1/16 inch thick aluminum, so I decided to use that instead. And then the other 2 parts, the steam chest itself and the cover, were spec'd as aluminum. So we'll put that in. Get that on right side up. Put the bolts through it all. When the final assembly comes, this will probably have some kind of a sealant between those 3 parts to prevent leakage. There is an issue, or a potential issue, that I determined after I put everything together, or after I drew everything, is I didn't plan for stuffing boxes, so there is no stuffing boxes anywhere, and that will probably cause leakage around the shafts, like the piston rod and the valve actuating shafts. So we'll have to see what that happens. If it turns out to be the leakage to be excessive, then I'll have to go to redesign and determine what I can do for stuffing boxes. At the present time, I'm thinking about something with using O-rings rather than packing, but it's kind of hard to see with my big hands in the way here. Now that the steam chest has been put together and the valve put onto the cylinder, now we have to put the steam chest and cylinder assembly on the frame. So we'll do that. Put the head up. got it backwards. Turn it around. Make sure the head is in the right place. Then bolt the steam chest on. Get it over here so you can see better. Just turn that in a little bit. There are 4 screws in the crosshead guide, since if I would have drilled the 5th hole of the 5-hole pattern would have been where the cylinder crosshead guide mounts to the base. So I left that hole out. Have to make sure to line up the head so it's got the blank hole in the right place. Tighten those screws down. That one is kind of hard to get in. I mentioned that we don't have any stuffing boxes. If I do end up needing to put a stuffing box in the rear head, I'm going to have to lengthen the crosshead guide, so that means a new head, new crosshead guide, and various other parts there. Get this all put together. Get the screws all tightened down, snug down. I'm not tightening them real tight because it's going to have to come apart again for assembly of the piston rod, etc., which is what we'll do the next time. There it is. There's the way it looks when this part is assembled. And next video we're going to go on to the piston, the crosshead, the piston rod, and the connecting rod that goes from the crosshead to the crankshaft. From then, next step will probably be the entire crankshaft assembly, and then after that we'll start working on the valve assembly, and then hopefully we can get the engine to run. I'm sure there will be some modifications that are going to have to be made. There may be some times I won't be able to put a video out every week while I'm making modifications, but that's the way it sits now. If you like this, please hit the like button. If you have any comments, I sure appreciate any kind of help that I can get on this thing. If you have suggestions, if you see anything that I'm doing that's way wrong, go ahead and tell me. I'm definitely just learning all this stuff. This is all an experiment. We're going to see if this thing will work when I get it done. If not, no, I guess it'll sit on a shelf. But like, subscribe, leave a comment. I really appreciate you watching, and see you next time on Rick's Engine.